This is Recruitment Agency Ignition with Andy Whitehead. Helping you build your recruitment employment business fast. Using digital and automation and one-to-many systems, tools, and inbound strategies.
So these are templates that went through some iterations of tweaking, but the damn things just didn't convert to how we want them to, okay? So I'm going to go through these and give you some pointers. Let me know also what you think the pointers are or the changes. So first off, we've got a subject here, hi first name. So referencing their first name in the header, good. Excellent new position. Very prestigious company in city. So what do? We map our market. We do industry, location, and role. So hi first name, excellent new position, city. So basically, in our subject, yes, we haven't referenced, in this case, Salesforce. So no, role, no. That's first thing. Next thing, subject, how long is it? So on my phone, I'm not sure what it is. It might come up to there. Hi first name, excellent. So what I might actually be doing is I might change the subject to be Salesforce, San Fran, XXX developers. Something like that, okay? Might do something like that. But I'm not saying that is what you do. But if I was to go down the industry location role, I want to get as much of that in there as possible. So you might put that in bracket Salesforce, San Fran developer. Now that may or may not do well in your niche, but that subject is very long and it was maybe a little bit woolly in places. So next thing, now these templates, you might recognize some of these, and in some niches, these have done epic. So hi first name, I've seen your profile down on LinkedIn because it looks like a potentially good match for some of the positions we're trying to fill and arguably one of the best companies out there and what to do. So that's telling me, first of all, it sounds like I'm talking to a lot of people. It's generic. Number two, I've not referenced the position, I've not referenced the type of company. So I've been making this more specific. Now this is a technology niche we're speaking with. So I might say, hi first name. I've spent 17 hours researching and finding the best XXX developer in Salesforce in San Francisco. I've checked out your profile and online presence. You're a perfect fit for this role at a top 3% company, Salesforce company in the Bay. So I changed the opening role to make it more specific. Now here, in particular, your experience at X company looks very relevant for the positions. I'm very confident my is very, very competitive. So this here, it looks like you're a good match, is very relevant. This isn't a benefit for the candidate. Okay, I'm a match, but I want to know what I'm a match for. Now down here, we say, what I have to offer is very, very competitive. Right, what do I want? Well, my drivers are salary, da-da-da. So I'd be tweaking these here based on what we've established so far, the drivers. Now, call to action. Simply reply to this email and I'll send you more details for you to review. So again, in this instance, this template's been tweaked a few times. It didn't convert. So when I look at the niche, Salesforce is the niche in this case. So what does a candidate want in this niche? They want exposure to the latest version of the platform. They want the best rate. They want the latest version of the technology. They want to be working remotely, etc. So it might be 5 points there. So we tested it. It didn't work. We tweaked it. It didn't work. Okay, where can we make a big change that isn't converting? The call to action. The call to action in this case is saying, I'll send more details. The reason why we're sending more details is because we've not given enough detail up here. So in this case, we might get a 30% reply rate. However, the reply rate we're getting is not giving us a yes, no. yes, I want to speak about this role. Yes, I want this role. Most of them are going to be, keep tight to me, keep in touch with me. Whereas as a recruitment company, I want to get paid now. So I want to know that I've sent this out to 1,000 candidates. I want candidates who want the role, they're a fit, and they're ready to go now. So what I've done here is add us another step. Send me an email and I'll send you more detail. Now what I want to do is, in this niche, this is a big niche, what I want to do is I want to filter out at step 1. So I want to put in more drivers of what the candidate wants. And I want to know if this is a now thing. So the 7 drivers you're going to get are work remote, which means this. Location, which means this. Reply now, or reply Salesforce number 1 role, if you want to be considered for the next step, etc. So this wasn't getting the response we wanted, and it was a little bit too woolly. Next, hi first name, resume update for the X role in X city. We're connected on LinkedIn, and I have noticed a vacancy at X company for the position of job lead title. I wasn't sure who to contact and therefore wanted to ask, who should I speak with this position? The company I'm contacting is exactly what the reason I'm contacting you is because this is exactly what we do here at X company. If it's not yourself, would you mind, etc., etc. So this might work in some niches. It's not worked. So cycle 1, we might take a template, we send it out to 50 to make sure it gets delivered, then 100 the next day, 100 the next day, 100 the next day. We've got 40 responses, and all the responses come back later. There's nothing of any meat there. Right, let's change it. Let's change it. So hi Steve, we're connected on LinkedIn. I've noticed a vacancy at X. So what we might do in this case, hi Steve. You may or may not know we're the only X company in the San Francisco Bay who have a 24/7 365 inbound system that covers 97.2% of the Salesforce admin market. You may or may not also know, in fact, in that case, it's differentiating the system we've got. The open role you have right now of ABC, in our current system, we have 97.2% coverage. Now, I understand that the key drivers you want are number 1, a skill set of XYZ. The reason being, you need ABC. The second driver is you need an MIT qualified Salesforce admin person or development role. But the reason why is XYZ. You need a Salesforce 5 years plus Salesforce experience. The reason being 1, 2, 3. So in that case, I've said to the client, these are your 3 key drivers, and I understand why you need them. I've also said we're the only company in the San Francisco Bay, so each of you've got your own system. So even if so we got, for example, we had Jamie Town, Terry Mallon, exact same niche in FMCG in the UK. Both got their own systems, but your system's yours. So you got your ABC system. You're the only one with the ABC system. So you reference, you've got the system. Mr. Client, you want this skill set, which means what? You want this experience, which means what? This recruitment person gets me, and he gets why I need it. Now, remember we said before, we might do the line manager, so you might do the 3 drivers as line manager. Then you might do, after this, you might also go on to say, Mr. Line Manager, I understand that the HR component of your business is key. That's why we partner and service HR. So this is how we help HR. Number 1, we give them ultimate control. How we do this is by giving them access to 97.2% of Salesforce developers in the San Fran Bay. Number 2, we have a speed is key for HR directors. That's why we have a system that warrants a 27.4% reply rate within 24 hours of that 97.2%, which means rather than get the first 6 CVs, you actually get the top, you get a 97.2% coverage, you got X response rate within 24 hours. That's how we partner and help HR. So if you said something like that in this case, that might be more powerful than what we've got here. So in this case, after we had some assessment, we found out that the line manager here actually brought HR into their decision-making process. So we sent out this template 500, 1,000 times, whatever it might be, and it didn't convert. And then when we looked at the avatar was actually, there's twofold. One was the client, the line manager, but the second was the HR director or HR person. So our avatar, we actually had two. So in this case, we've got 3 drivers, I think we recommended for the line manager and 2 drivers for the HR person. So that last 2-3 minutes there, when you're playing this back, play it back, slow it down, write it down, play it back, slow it down, write it down, if you might have the same again, if this is before we go into our HR session. So what we got here is we got clarity on our avatar. We've got 2 avatars. What we've also done, you might have noticed, I've referenced Salesforce there 3-4 times in both. Keyword rich. Lot more keyword rich. Template structure. I've understood I've got 2 avatars. So I've broken my template into 2. 1 for the line manager, then 2 for HR director. Next, personal. What I've done is I made it personal. The drivers for HR and the drivers for line manager are completely different. But I'm speaking to both because I know that line manager is going to forward that to HR. I've hit their specific needs. So we've understood who we're speaking to. Now, subject. Again, subject. The best subject open rate you'll probably get ever is just their first name. Just their first name. You can't do it all the time. It's spammy. However, what we're trying to achieve here, I've got a great candidate for X role. Now, open rate is one of the easiest things to fix. One of the easiest things to fix. And that shouldn't really be a long-term problem. But here, again, hi Steve, first name, resume update. That might be all you see on your phone, this bit here. So what we've got is job lead title. So it might be a better subject, may well be XX role, MIT candidate, Salesforce. That may be better. It may not be. So resume update, that's a bit wordy. They've got a job that needs to be fixed. So X role, that's a job. They want a candidate who's got MIT background, etc., etc. So we're fitting their needs there. So that might be a better way to tweak that template. Now we've got MPC template here. Again, guys, please go through your checklist. So subject, quick question, perfectly good. Quick question often does very well as an open rate. So hi, first name, I want to make you aware of a senior Salesforce administrator in City that I recently interviewed. And again, these templates, some of you have probably had epic success with, but I'm just digging deep on different ways we can tweak and test. So I want to make you aware of a senior Salesforce administrator in X City that I recently interviewed. She has 7 years, etc., etc., etc. So again, we go back to our test, our test, this case talking to a client. Our avatar, we know, works in technology. So they're likely to be reading this on a mobile device. Even at a desk, they're probably going to be on a mobile device. We're dealing with someone in Salesforce. It's a development community, a development, what's the word I'm thinking of? Culture. So our managers are likely in Salesforce, if we knew our avatar, again, our managers are likely to be in an agile development marketplace, which means they're going to be in lots of stand-up meetings, walking around a lot, etc. So mobile is going to be the best way. So if you imagine getting this message on a mobile, this is quite wordy. There's some good stuff in here, by the way. However, bullet points would be a lot more impactful. So with this MPC template, what does our client want? They want a candidate with, in this case, 7 years experience. So they might want X years experience. So that's great. That's great. Which means what? So in this case, 7 years experience, which means 7 years exposure to almost all Salesforce products from X to X. So that's a really good benefit. That's an excellent benefit. Next, since you've transparently streamlined Salesforce orgs through configuration, workflow, etc., etc. Deep team. So there's good stuff in here. But again, let's do a feature and then the benefits. So deep team building skills. Salesforce team building skills, which means demonstrable ability to collaborate across all departments and lead Salesforce trainers of Salesforce users. So that one sentence there. Now, we've used Salesforce in one sentence. Again, they're going to read this bullet point. So there's some good stuff in here. We come down. She's interested in hearing full-time Salesforce admin position in the city, and I thought it might be a good fit. So she's interested. Now this client probably is going to be in the mindset of I don't want her to be interested. I want her to be completely full on the uber best candidate, 100% committed, and she's proven that in the past. So you might use something along the lines of the client wants commitment, the client wants history of this, the client wants to know she can move quickly, the client wants to know she can hit the ground running, etc., etc. Said candidate has a proven background of implementation of X products within 2 to 4 weeks. She's ready to move now. She's in extremely high demand. However, I consider X ABC company to be a market leader in Salesforce. That's what, hence I'm contacting you first. Except we might have something we can make a bit more powerful down here, focused on what the client wants, but also we're acting with a bit of authority. I'm giving a little bit of scarcity. Call to action. Please let me know if you are interested in learning more. Interested can often be a weak word. Can often be a weak word. It's a call to action. XX candidate. I'm working. We are working solely on behalf of XXX candidate. As you can see, with her MIT background, she's going to be in huge demand. I can set up a 15-minute exploratory call within the next 24 to 40 hours. Hit reply with MIT. That might be something a bit more powerful than we got here. So again, what we've done there, our call to action is a lot clearer. We've got authority. We're demonstrating authority in here. What we're also doing is we're giving some scarcity, letting them know that we're not begging them to speak to us. And I'll take you through some points in a second. So we might tweak that. Again, I'm not saying that was going to be the perfect response, but those might be a change we make next in our next test. Next, we've got quick question. Good. Outstanding Salesforce professionals. So that isn't necessarily a question. So outstanding Salesforce.com professionals. That sounds generic, but Salesforce.com. Good. Our technology. Salesforce.com, top 5% MIT background, or top 5% admin, San Fran professionals. So I might change that because it's not a question. So hi, first name. As a title of X company, I want to reach out to you to see if you are finding the outstanding data difficult to find. I can help with that. So good, this is recognizing the problem. So what we could be doing here is seed our CAS. So that recognizes a problem with Salesforce and the number and quality of candidates. Our company specializes in XXX, so what the company name is. This is what we do. Could you benefit from our service? So again, some of you might have used that. And I know, for example, that type of template will work, well, has worked well in media sales. In this instance, though, we're in a very competitive marketplace. What we've not done is differentiate ourselves. What we've not done is recognize they got other options. The good thing, though, we've recognized it's a problem. So in this case, we might use the CAS template, which I won't go through now because you can copy and paste it. So this is a reach out template, essentially to say, we're here, can we help? What we've done well, though, we've recognized there's a problem, but the CAS template here, which again, we're not going to go through it now because you got it, but I might use the CAS template here. So the biggest problem in Salesforce in San Francisco is number one, number two, number three. The impact to you as a Salesforce CEO is 1, 2, 3. That's why we have the only 24/7 365 that are whatever language you're going to use in San Francisco. Key drivers, the key benefits to you are number one, which means this, number two, which means this, number three, which means this. We only partner with nine companies per annum, per year, per quarter. The reason why I'm contacting you is through a referral I'd love to share with you on the phone, or because I consider you to be XYZ. If you reference the referral one there, then they might have curiosity, who's a referral through. I just hope you got one or you can find one. But this is a CAS template we're seeding here. So if we did this with the CAS, so you see here, we've not referenced a candidate. It's pretty much evergreen. we're using our system, etc. So now it comes down to the follow-ups, okay? Follow-up messages, hugely important. So in the templates, there are follow-up message templates. Now remember, we send out message one, and I think Shirley, you said message 4 for you was a biggie, but from message 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 is where the lion's share of your responses from clients will often come, okay? So I'll say that again. Most of your responses will come from messages 3, 4 onwards from clients. And it was normally a lower number with candidates, but the follow-up is key. So these follow-up messages. So what we've done here is we send out a message step one. We send out our first template. Then what we've done is we've automated a follow-up message. So if they don't reply, they get message 2. That makes sense? Let me know if it makes sense, guys, on follow-up message. So what we've done, we sent out message 1, and now we're following up. So this is hugely important. And again, when I look at people's templates, it's like you can see within nanoseconds, no wonder the follow-up's not working. But again, we know 40, 50, 60% of the results come from the follow-up. This little thing we're doing here, and we don't do it properly. In the same way that we know we can go to the gym 7 days a week, but we know, you're talking to the man on this, if we go home and we eat the wrong food every day, the results are going to be pretty poor compared to if we ate clean. Now, I'm telling you as fact, probably over half of your responses will come by these little messages we've got in front of us here. So the follow-up. Now, hands up in the chat box. Just give me a, yeah, I'm one of those, or no, I'm not one of those. I spend time at this. If we know half of your success comes from the follow-up, do we spend half our time tweaking our follow-up messages? Yes or no? Do we spend half our time tweaking that follow-up message? Yes or no? If we don't do that, if we don't take our follow-up messages and also tweak these, then we're missing out on half of the success. So what we often do is we tweak the first message and that's it. We don't look at the follow-up. So there are templates for the follow-up, but let me go through what we've got here, okay, and to give you some pointers on the follow-up, okay? So first of all, we must follow up. Done, dusted. No room for discussion. The question is, how do we follow up? What do we do to follow up? And again, we should be taking the follow-up templates as seriously as the main first template. So with these follow-up messages, hi, first name, did you get a chance to read the below email about X job position? I'd love to hear back from you, as we'd be a great recruitment asset for company. So again, some of you have used this template or something like it, and it's worked outstanding. So again, I'm being ultra harsh here, but in a good way. When I went through and looked at these, the person I was assessing on behalf of, I was like, you've actually done me a huge favor here, because this is going to be really, really cool to share with everybody. So these follow-up messages. So again, you might have used these and these work perfectly fine. So I'm just being ultra analytical at this point. So number one, hi, first name. So that's fine. Hi, first name. Did you get a chance to read the email below about X job? If this hasn't worked for me so far, I know I need to change it. What can I improve on this? Did you get a chance? Of course I didn't get a bloody chance. And blah, 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 blah. Get in your avatar's head. Next, I'd love to hear back from you. So in this case, I'd love to hear back from you because it's going to help me get paid and help me be a recruitment person who's a slimy snake who sells secondhand cars. That's how often we're reviewed and seen as in this industry, unless we've got the authority that goes against that, obviously. So if this hasn't worked, how could we change it? Hi, first name. Just check. It might be something more direct in this case. Hi, first name. Just check in. Email above about candidate XXX with MIT experience, 5 years MIT, 14 years X, 3 years this, didn't fall between the cracks. So again, hi, first name. I'm just checking. Email above or message above. Candidate, then might list the three drivers, 5 years MIT, etc. Didn't fall between the cracks. You may go even a step further depending on your avatar. She's going to, we've had multiple engagement, multiple requests to speak to ex-candidate. Love to hear back from you in the next 24 hours. Something like that. But again, your avatar, that might work great in one niche. It might work crap in another niche. So this message here, did you get a chance? Well, obviously I didn't. I'd love to hear back from you. It's self-serving. So again, I'm being ultra cynical here, okay? And going through what we may or may not change in this specific example, okay? Next, I didn't hear back from you about the below emails. Please let me know either way when you get a moment. Is that okay? So how does this sound to you? How does it sound to you? Now, if you know what you do can help them, whether it be client or candidate, and you know you're an ethical person and you're going to do right by them, then you should have a sense of authority. Now, the reality is, when your business goes from 200K to $1 million, you're going to feel a foot taller and you're going to walk around the supermarket and your back will be a bit straighter. When you have dinner with friends and you get introduced to people, you're going to be a little bit smoother. It's life. We got that reinforcement of what we do as a person or as a business owner in this case. But the reality is, breaking down what we're doing here is, we know that we are going to do right by them. Agreed? Yep. None of us on the call now are out to be unethical. So this message, when we read it this way, and again, if you're dealing with CEOs or if you're dealing with a warehouse manager, the language you use and the way you engage with them will be completely different. But in this case, this hasn't worked so far. So I didn't hear back from you about the below emails. Yeah, I know that because I didn't reply to you. Again, I'm being cynical. Please let me know either way when you get a moment. Is that okay? No, sod off. If only to let me know who I should be contacting about the job. I don't want to help you. I've got too much to do. So step 3 may be something. So step 2, we said, just check in above me, don't fall between the cracks about candidate 1, 2, 3. Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. The previous message above regarding world-class candidate detailed above. I'm going to have to take her off the market. Hit reply, MIT, let me know if it's for you now. So what we're doing now is we might condense the follow-ups. In this case, we've made them acute, as in I need a response now. Now, the reality is, as I said, your message might be message 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, where you get a response. So if you're doing an MPC campaign and you're following up, if you're doing an MPC campaign, if our original template says she's world-class, she'll be off the market in 4 days, but then we do a follow-up for 4 weeks, the two don't correlate, do they? So make sure your follow-up messages fit what we've done in the original message. So let's say the first message had an MPC of the candidate and she's epic, but also we're going to follow up for, say, 2 weeks, okay? So step 2, just checking it didn't fall between the cracks up here. Step 3, what we've done here is quite submissive. Hi, Steve. Just checking in, MIT candidate above. Not sure if you're aware, we have the only 24/7, 365 inbound system in San Francisco. Love to share the principles of how we found said candidate, which means you have access to 92% of the marketplace. Hit reply with Ignition. We'll jump on a 15-minute Salesforce Ignition call to take you through the system, but also the candidate. So we might shake it up there. It's giving you authority. But what we're not doing is being submissive. So here, when I read this, and what you should read also, is it sounds quite submissive. And we don't ever want to be doing that. Now, from a candidate side of things, our follow-up. Did you get a chance to review my email below? Just wanted to make sure you received it. So there's no reference to the benefits of the role here. So even it might be one sentence, because we've got the email above that they can see. In this message, if this hasn't worked, let's reiterate what the 3, 4 drivers are. Hi, first name, just checking the role regarding 1, 2, 3, didn't fall between the cracks. I know how crazy it is in Salesforce this time of the year. Hit reply, and we can jump on a 10-minute Ignition call. Just to recap, the role has 1, 2, 3, which means for you means X, Y, Z. Speak soon, Steve. Now there's a glaring challenge here. What is it? These follow-up messages. What's the glaring challenge that tells us we're missing out on a lot of opportunity? We've only got three messages. Step 2, step 3, and we said already it could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we follow up, we're keeping it short and we're keeping it very direct and very sweet. It's literally a little prod, a little poke. You awake, babe? It's one of those. It isn't a going through the entire process again. And because the way we follow up, they won't have seen us before.
Discover how to build your recruitment employment agency using 1-to-many automation and inbound strategies before anyone else in your market specialization. Check out recruitmentmarketinginternational.com.